afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Monday.
Welcome back.
Good to be back.
How was your vacation?
Just up north, did some fishing and hunting and...
Perfect. You didn't do it fishing or hunting, maybe some swimming?
Yeah, but the Chain of Lakes Wapaka, very nice up there.
Very nice. Good weather for it?
Perfect weather. Had good friends along, so yeah.
Good stuff.
Good to be back, though.
Yeah, good to have you back.
That's good. Going topping our news today, why a new report has Dane County concerned about the security of the elections and workers at the polls.
Wildfires rip through California as another heat wave hits the rest of the nation.
And the U.S. has seen a tenfold increase in monkeypox cases over the past month alone, and lawmakers want to accelerate vaccine deliveries. Oh, what a day today. Just picture perfect.
It was beautiful. A little crispness in the air.
After the storms this weekend, and I guess it was hot here last week.
Yes, you always time it perfectly.
The weather words, well, this is nice, and Julian is in the backyard soaking up the nice weather.
Absolutely. I'm soaking it up because it is just flat out gorgeous for us. As we get into the rest of the evening, what you're experiencing now is just going to get even better. However, we are going to be seeing just some clouds start to linger, but other than that, folks, we're going to be having an awesome night on our hands. Taking a look at how we stacked up for today, 75 degrees, 7 degrees below our average around this time of year, which is normally around 82 degrees for us, but just goes to show and paint the picture of just how gorgeous it really was to start off our new work week. Taking a look at our radar, all the showers are outside of our area. As we are now experiencing a dry trend for a little while, all the storms and showers are mainly into the southern parts of the Midwest or back home for me, where we're looking at some severe storms starting to fire off into the northeast. But temperatures around the upper Midwest, 75 degrees here in Madison, and we had a 78 degrees over towards La Crosse, but all of us are really hanging into the 70s, and it's not going to be much warmer than that as we continue throughout the rest of our evening. Dew points is also the best part about it because it's very comfortable outside. We're into those lower 50s. Some areas are into the mid 50s, but overall, very comfortable conditions as we get into the rest of our evening. Now, taking a look at for tonight, it's going to be partly cloudy, also cooler, and around 58 degrees for us. So again, it's going to be a pleasant night on tap for us. Now, let's switch some gears going into our traffic. As of right now, the Beltline is all green as we are getting into our evening commute, and taking a look towards the interstate as of right now, looking all green as well. And we're going to take another look at what else to expect coming up in a few moments with the weather later into the week in just a few months. But again, let's go ahead and toss it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Julian, we'll see you in a few minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Julian. The August primary election is just 15 days away, and in-person absentee voting will begin tomorrow in the city of Madison.
To hand in your absentee ballot, you'll need an acceptable photo ID. Voters who have moved since last time they voted may also register to vote at any in-person absentee voting location. To find the person absentee voting hours and locations nearest you, head to the City of Madison's clerk's website.
A new report has some sharp words for the status of election security in Dane County.
Inadequate is how they describe it, and political reporter Will Keneally has more. Will?
So there are a couple of issues of concern that the report identified, largely dealing with elections or security for elections officials. So right now, the city and county clerk, which help run the elections, are housed in the building behind me, the city-county building. And the task force identified some points of failure, which security can be stronger, pushing for elections to be treated as critical infrastructure.
After 2020, when disinformation and frankly outright lies about the election and how it was conducted was reflected in personal threats that clerks and their staff had received.
So in addition to concerns about clerk safety, the other issue that the report identified is security of the voting machines themselves. Dane County voting machines can be kept safer, for example, behind 2 locked doors instead of just 1, according to the Dane County clerk. Madison equipment has also been flooded in the past and could be kept in climate-controlled spaces. So the key thing to note here is that this is all largely for precaution. No voting equipment has been breached so far. This is largely to keep things secure going forward. Reporting from Madison, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, well, we'll see you at 5 o'clock. Thank you. Democrat Tom Nelson has suspended his campaign for U.S. Senate. The Outagamie County executive made the announcement on social media today.
Friends, good news, bad news. Bad news is I'm suspending the campaign today. And I want to thank everybody for all the great work that you've done for us. It means so much. We've come so far.
Nelson says the decision comes after his campaign ran out of money. He went on to say he is endorsing Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes. The departure slims the field to just 3 candidates: Barnes, State Treasurer Sarah Godlewski, and Milwaukee Bucks executive Alex Lassery. The primary election is August 9th.
Fire caused considerable damage to a 3-unit apartment house in downtown Madison this morning. One of the residents heard a smoke detector going off and found smoke and heat when he went to the upstairs apartment in the 100 block of South Hancock Street. He called 911 and warned his roommates. They all got out safely. Fire units spent the morning getting to burning parts of the house, including a concealed attic. The building is considered uninhabitable, and the Red Cross is helping find homes for those displaced.
A fast-moving wildfire near Yosemite National Park has exploded in size, forcing thousands to evacuate. So far, the fire, covering about 26 square miles, is only 10% contained.
Danya Backus has the latest on the Oak Fire from Los Angeles.
The explosive Oak Fire near Yosemite National Park tripled in size over the weekend.
We're getting in more resources. We're the top priority fire in the state right now.
More than 2,500 firefighters are attacking the flames from the air and on the ground. At least 15 structures have been damaged or destroyed. About 6,000 people were forced to evacuate.
This is the first time ever in my life being evacuated, so this is kind of different. You know, a lot of anxiety.
Scorching temperatures, low humidity, bone-dry vegetation, and dead trees are fueling the flames. The fire started Friday near the Mariposa County town of Mid-Pines.
We're going to have to rename our town. I mean, the Pines probably aren't going to make it.
In 2021, a USDA aerial survey found 9.5 million trees were standing dead in the state, more than 200,000 in Mariposa County alone. Scientists say most were killed by the western drought and beetle infestation linked to climate change. CAL FIRE says crews made good headway Sunday night, but the forecast calls for triple digits again today. Smoke from the fire can be seen from the International Space Station. An air quality advisory is now in effect for the San Francisco Bay Area, more than 200 miles away. Danya Backus, CBS News.
And so far this year, crews have been sent to more than 4,400 wildfires in California.
Health officials are grappling with how to contain the monkeypox outbreak. In the U.S. alone, there are nearly 3,000 reported cases of the disease, according to the CDC. This one day after the World Health Organization declared the outbreak a public health emergency of international concern.
We have an outbreak that has spread around the world rapidly through new modes of transmission, about which we understand too little and which meets the criteria in the international health regulations.
The White House has yet to declare monkeypox an emergency, but plans to release over 1.5 million vaccines in the coming months. A group of 50 House Democrats wants the administration to declare a public health emergency in order to accelerate vaccine delivery.
From the 1870s to the 1990s, over 150,000 children of indigenous descent were kidnapped and forced to attend assimilated schools in Canada, which were administered by Christians.
Today, Pope Francis apologized on behalf of the Catholic Church before thousands of indigenous people, including survivors of the many forms of abuse that took place. In his statement, the Pope said this was an act of evil completely severed from the doctrine of Jesus Christ. While some consider the apology an important step in the healing process, others are not so pleased. Some indigenous leaders are calling for financial compensation, the release of school records, and the extradition of an alleged abuser.
Don't feel that it has been about survivors. It has been more about the church.
We wish to acknowledge with deep appreciation and gratitude the great personal effort you have made to travel to our land. It is a blessing to receive and host you.
A ceremony was held in honor of the victims, thousands of which are believed to have never come home. The apology is considered historic for both the church and for Canada. The January 6th Select Committee may consider sending a subpoena to Ginny Thomas, who was in contact with former Chief of Staff for President Trump, Mark Meadows. Thomas is a conservative activist and the wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. In June, the Select Committee sent Thomas a letter requesting that she testify after learning she exchanged texts with Meadows and attorney John Eastman, who notably wrote a policy memo about how to block certification of President Biden's victory in the 2020 election.
Whether it involves the wife of a Supreme Court justice or anyone else, if they have information or a role in an effort to overturn an election, yes, they're not excluded from examination.
At rallies this weekend, the former president told his supporters he believes the investigation is only in retaliation to his presumed 2024 presidential campaign. He's set to give a speech in Washington tomorrow, returning for the first time since leaving office in 2021.
2 men charged in a deadly shooting that happened on Madison's northeast side last fall pled not guilty this afternoon. 33-year-olds Justin Barrage and Shabri Link were arrested in April in connection with the shooting on November 17th that killed 24-year-old Eric Ranson. Link is charged with first-degree intentional homicide, and Barrage is charged with first-degree intentional homicide as a party to a crime. In court today, both Link and Barrage stood mute, and it was not a not guilty plea was entered on their behalf. Barrage's next court appearance is October 21st. Link has a bail hearing on August 12th.
We won't know until the medical examiner releases a report whether a man who drowned in Lake Monona over the weekend had some other type of medical emergency when he fell in. But with drowning sadly happening several times in southern Wisconsin in recent weeks, doctors hope this tragedy serves as an important reminder for all of us about water safety. Today is National Drowning Prevention Day. Small children are most likely to drown. However, adults are certainly at risk as well. SSM Health says 70% of adults who drown have been drinking.
And then always, 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 I recommend if you're around large bodies of water, especially if you don't have a strong swimming background, always wearing your life jacket or life vest. Pool floaties, inner tubes, things like that aren't meant to substitute for life.
If you see someone in trouble in the water, alert a lifeguard right away. And if there isn't one around, you can help the person get out. But doctors suggest clearing the person's airway with chest compressions and rescue breaths. You're never too old for swimming lessons either. Make sure that you and your children and the children that you're with know some of the basics to stay safe.
Well, Black Hawk Lake Recreation Area near Highland is celebrating 50 years this week, and they're doing it big. This coming weekend, they've got a day planned with fun for the whole family, including fireworks. The park in Iowa County first opened on July 4th, 1972, and is operated by the DNR. It's known for being perfect getaway for your family and friends. Black Hawk Lake Recreation Area has a little bit of everything from camping, boating, fishing, and the exploring the great outdoors. For park manager Tom Mischett, the 50th celebration is an exciting way to show the community how thankful he is and his staff are for continued support.
Yeah, we're still here after 50, and you know, those people have made it what it is. It should be fun. We are very proud of this place. It's Southwest Wisconsin's little gem, as all the local people call it.
The Black Hawk Lake Recreation Area consists of over 2,000 acres and includes a lake for fishing and a recreation area with a campground, boat launch, and picnic areas. There's also a designated wildlife area that's used for hiking and seasonal public hunting. If you'd like to learn more about their celebration this coming Saturday, July 30th, just head to this story at channel3000.com. Well, it may no longer dominate the headlines, but the war in Ukraine rages on.
It is, in fact, escalating. We'll get an update on the situation when Live at 4 continues.
You're watching News 3 Now, Live at 4.
I brought in Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein. Those who tried me felt more energy in just 2 weeks. Here, I'll take that.
Ensure Max Protein with 30 grams of protein, 1 gram of sugar. Enter Powered by Protein Challenge for a chance to win big.
As owner of Wisconsin's largest construction company, I have a blueprint, a plan for every project. So here's mine for Wisconsin. I'll stand up to the radical left and their socialist agenda. We'll back the blue and get tough on violent crime. Bad guys, they're not gonna like me. I'll crack down on election fraud and keep schools open 5 days a week, no matter what Fauci says. I'm Tim Michaels, and that's my plan. Now let's get to work.
Spectrum presents Stream Home Makeover with JoJo.
We transform the Joneses' home, upgrading their entertainment experience with the best TV and internet services from Spectrum. Let's go. With Spectrum TV, you get your favorite channels and streaming apps, plus tons of on-demand.
Switch to Spectrum TV and Internet for only $49.99 a month each. Now with even faster speeds of 300 megabits per second. Call 1-844-480-4713.
Ready for more? Take a look. With the free Spectrum TV app, you can stream live sports, news, and more on all your devices, inside, outside, and on the go.
Wow, that's awesome.
There's more. We powered up the game room with Spectrum Internet, which gives you the fast, reliable speeds you need to power all your devices. And it comes with free security suite, so you can feel completely safe and secure.
Switch to Spectrum TV and Internet for only $49.99 a month each. Now with speeds of 300 megabits per second. Call 1-844-480-4713.
Call now.
At USAA, we've been called too exclusive, because we only serve those who honorably served. All ranks, all branches, and their eligible family members. Yep, that is exclusive, and we're fine with that.
At Pick and Save, we believe local produce shouldn't be hard to find. That's why we work with local farms right in our own backyard to bring you fresher than fresh produce.
You got everything I need. You're like medicine to me. Oh, baby,
Because shopping for local produce should be as easy as shopping at your local Pick and Save. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
Consumer Cellular has the best customer service.
They care about the customer.
The best price with the best quality.
The prices, the coverage.
The coverage is great.
It was the same, if not better.
Consumer Cellular provides the exact same premium coverage as the nation's leading carriers for half the cost. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get talk, text, and data starting at just $20 a month.
It's like 4 scoops of ice cream for the price of 1.
Switch today and get a 100% risk-free guarantee. Call or go online.
Welcome back, everyone. Adele fans are thrilled.
Today, the singer announced new dates for her Las Vegas residency. Last January, Adele postponed her residency at Caesars Palace. She said it was due to half the team having COVID. They couldn't finish getting the show ready. About the new dates, Adele says, quote, "Words can't explain how ecstatic I am to finally be able to announce these rescheduled shows. I truly was heartbroken to have canceled them." 24 rescheduled shows will now run from November 18th to March 23rd, and she has added 8 performances.
Aviation lovers are flying high in Oshkosh with the kickoff of what's known as the world's greatest aviation celebration. The Experimental Aircraft Association's 69th annual Air Venture in Oshkosh brings more than 10,000 aircraft from around the world to one place, including my brother. He flew there this week, complete with 9 air shows, including military aerial demonstrations commemorating the 75th anniversary of the U.S. Air Force. Storms knocked over a few things, but nothing serious.
Some exhibitor tents, smaller ones, were blown down. There was some debris that got loose on Boeing Plaza. We had one EAA airplane that was owned, still tied down very securely, but it must have been the right angle. It got caught up and put on its nose, so that one's been towed off to the repair hangar.
And my brother's tent was full of water, too. The event runs through Sunday.
It's such a big deal.
It is a big deal.
The blimp was usually there. When I was growing up, could watch that. Let's check Wall Street. A mostly positive day. The Dow Industrials added 90 points, closing at 31,990. The NASDAQ lost 51, but the S&P 500 managed a 5-point gain. The Ukrainian government is hoping to resume exports of grain from the Black Sea port of Odessa, despite a Russian missile strike yesterday.
The grain has immense importance, not only to Ukraine, but the rest of the world, as every continent is being hit hard by the lack of exports from a country often called the breadbasket of Europe.
Yoshiko Herrera, professor of political science at UW-Madison and Russian expert, joins us once again. Good to see you again.
Hi, Yoshiko. Good to see you.
Hi, thank you. Nice to be here.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, the Ukraine war is not in the headlines, the top of the headlines, but it's still raging on. What's the latest?
Well, yeah, it's now 5 months. The Russians have made a lot of gains in the east, but there are some potential changes in the future because of the weapons being supplied by the West. And I think in the port city of Kherson, in the next few weeks, we'll see some important developments if the Ukrainians are able to push the Russians out of this important port city in the south. And as you also mentioned, the grain shipment issue is important in terms of addressing food shortages around the world, getting the grain out of Ukraine. But that process, while there was a deal, the Russians the very next day bombed the port city of Odessa. So that's sort of a one step forward, one step or two steps even back.
So is there a potential that the grain deal could still collapse?
Yes, although there's a lot of parties that are interested in getting this grain out of Ukraine, including the Ukrainians. So at the moment, Ukrainians have not decided to back out of the deal. And the idea is to have the grain shipped out of Ukraine and then the ships inspected in Turkey by an international group. So right now, it looks like that is still supposed to happen. But Russia's bombing of Odessa less than 24 hours after the deal sort of sends a signal to people to remind everyone that Russia is not very trustworthy.
How important is this grain to the rest of the world?
Well, a lot of countries in the Middle East and North Africa actually rely on this grain. And as you know, people in Wisconsin know, and in the U.S., there's inflation. Inflation is actually worse in some other countries, and that's partly because of rising prices on food and other commodities. So the grain is important to, and there's climate change, there's drought, so there's lots of reasons why this grain is important for that have traditionally relied on it, but especially now given rising prices and climate change related shortages in other places.
This is sort of a simplified question, but is there a way 5 months in to determine who is winning this war? And are there any signs at all that the conflict may be coming to an end?
Well, in terms of winning, I think that the war has been just a tremendous loss for people in Ukraine, for the economy of Ukraine in the short term. It's a loss for Russia in terms of the long-term political and economic system of the country is severely damaged. So there's a lot of losses. But in terms of war and military victories, I still am of the view that Ukraine is going to eventually win, but it's going to be at great cost. So we're sort of in a costly phase. I think that the important thing that's going to be determinative is how successful the Ukrainians are in using the long-range artillery systems, that the HIMARS systems that they're getting from the United States and other Western countries, because there's a lot of reports they've been able to target Russian supply areas and ammunition depots. And the more that they can do that, the more difficult it is for Russia to hold the territory that they have taken. So in order for Ukraine to win, they have to actually take back territory, not just sort of hold the line, which they have generally been doing. So I think that we're going to see the effects of these long-range artillery systems, and hopefully that will make a difference. But right now, Russia is very committed to continuing to punish Ukraine and continuing with the sort of absurd goal of trying to deny Ukrainian sovereignty and nationhood.
And the destruction and death continues. Yoshiko, thanks for being with us again. We'll check in sooner than later.
Great to see you, Yoshiko. Thank you so much.
Well, for Ukrainians, active defiance against Russia can come in many forms.
Even in the form of dance. We'll have more on that coming up after Julian's firstborn forecast.
iMart Express. access, own selection, price, and speed. Need single vision? Get 2 pairs starting under $40. Progressives, 2 pairs start under $80. Nobody beats us, guaranteed. I'm Art Express. Right glasses, right price, right now.
Cookies and Briars. That's like getting 2 desserts. Wait, do we have to thank our moms twice? I don't know.
Breyers, 100% grade A milk and cream and loaded with delicious cookie pieces. Better starts with Breyers.
At TSR, we transform your old, beat-up concrete into a beautiful, durable surface in one day. Hi, I'm Joey with TSR Concrete Coatings. We specialize in garages, patios, pool decks, basements, and more. We don't just coat over your old concrete. We start by grinding it down, then we apply the base coat and chip and seal it with our own proprietary sealant that will never chip or peel. Our coatings are beautiful, durable, ridiculously easy to clean, and are backed by our exclusive lifetime warranty. Our in-house team is ready to answer any questions that you have before and after the install. And right now on all projects, we're offering 15% off. Call the number shown below or visit our website for your new floor today.
Day floor.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Enjoy the open road and make no monthly payments for the rest of summer on all Silverado pickups. Plus, get 2.49% financing when you finance with GM Financial. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
I am frustrated with my own party. You know, we've had 50 years to make Roe into law, but we've failed. And you know what, guys, I'm glad that now that Roe is overturned, you are all now sharing your own personal stories. But I wasn't the only one talking about reproductive rights, because for me, this is not an afterthought. If Wisconsin wants to restore its women's rights to choose, they'll send the woman who will get the job done and defeat Ron Johnson.
I'm Sarah Godlewski. I approve this message.
When it's go time, I don't let constipation stop me.
New great-tasting Dulcolax Chewy Fruit Bites work naturally with the water in your body in as little as 30 minutes. So you can go fast, go gently, and go on with life. New Dulcolax Chewy Fruit Bites put you comfortably in control.
How do we make your glasses the same day? It's all done in store. Our skilled techs handle your glasses from start to finish, getting them back the same day. Quality, affordable glasses made in store, only at iMart Express.
Well, take a look at this. A whale breached and landed on a boat, the bow of a small boat near Plymouth, Massachusetts, Sunday morning. The town says no one was hurt. There was no damage to the 19-foot boat. But how do you know? I mean,
I'm about to say, but that's scary. Oh my gosh.
Boy, somebody was rolling at the right time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you wonder why they were rolling.
Yeah.
Oh man. Well, I'm glad everybody's okay.
Need a bigger boat.
Need a bigger boat.
All right, what a turnaround in the weather.
Oh, it's awesome, isn't it?
It is.
We're going to be taking a look at that in a few moments because, folks, we might be holding on to this for quite a while. So stay tuned with the First One forecast coming up after the break.
Menards is the one-stop shop for everything you need. Get a truckload of savings on items you need every day for everyone in your household. We have it all, from big to small and everything in between. Fix anything around your house inside and out with Gorilla products. They provide great results for tapes, glues, and adhesives. With great versatility, there's no job Gorilla can't tackle. Get 11% off all Gorilla products at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Before treating your chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, you're not the only one with questions about Botox. Botox prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine before they even start, with about 10 minutes of treatment once every 3 months. So ask your doctor if Botox is right for you, and if a sample is available.
Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
In a survey, 92% of current users said they wish they talked to their doctor and started Botox sooner. Plus, right now, you may pay $0 for Botox. Learn how AbbVie could help you save on Botox.
Hello, I'm Roman Ryan of Ryan Funeral Homes. As a locally owned and operated funeral home, it's important to know that not all funeral homes are the same. Some other Madison area funeral homes are actually owned by corporations based outside of the United States. A corporately owned funeral home is focused on the bottom line, making services more costly. We have served local families for more than 80 years, and our priority is investing in the community and your family. In your time of need, Ryan Funeral Homes are here for you.
I want to share my story so others can know that they are not alone.
When my mom and dad were first expecting, the pregnancy had complications and there was very little chance of survival. My mom's health was at risk too. She chose to end the pregnancy.
It was my decision, not some politicians.
Every woman should have the right to make her own decision. And I'll fight alongside you every step of the way until you do. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, getting things rolling for us this evening. It's going to be rather nice. Looking at 58 degrees for tonight, and on top of it, those northwesterly flow of winds is going to keep things rather cool and comfortable as we go in throughout the rest of this evening. Partly cloudy skies are going to remain, however, and we're also still seeing some variation of the cloud cover as of right now, but we are starting to look at a bit more openings as we get into the later part of tonight. Right now, though, we're dealing with plenty of dry conditions here in southern Wisconsin, and mainly in Wisconsin in itself. But as we take a broader look at what we're seeing just around the United States, here in the Midwest, we can see some showers starting to fire off. Not really looking at thunderstorms, though. However, our friends over into the northeast, just outside of where I used to live, we're looking at some severe storms starting to pop off as that low continues to track its way into the northeastern sector of the United States for us. But this high pressure system is going to be keeping us dry, and that northwesterly flow, again, is going to keep us rather mild around this time of year. So it's going to feel great over the next couple of days for us as we see temperatures still hold into those 70s. Talking about tonight, well, after the 5 p.m. commute, we're going to still hold on to a bit of cloud cover, but we're still going to be rather quiet. It's not a lot of breezy conditions either. And as we transition into our Tuesday morning, going to be waking up to some more comfortable conditions as temperatures will be into the low 60s. Not a lot of humidity once again. And we'll start to see a slight shift from the south, bringing in just a little warmer temperatures, which we'll see those lower 80s coming into our Tuesday afternoon and evening. But overall, again, folks, we're not going to be looking at much in terms of changes until early Wednesday morning, where we could see some pop-up showers. But overall, not looking at very widespread or even any of those real heavy rain pours for us as we get into the next couple of days. So as we take a look into from now going into the weekend, we're expecting plenty of dry conditions. If we're going to see any kind of rain, it's mainly going to be in the overnight or into the early morning. Our best chance to see some rainfall is going to be the following week. Until then, though, the 3 things we're going to need to know is there's going to be a pleasant week ahead of us. So make sure that you're enjoying it. Temperatures in the 70s and 80s, the low 80s, and not a lot of humidity is going to just make a picture-perfect week for us. Our potential for storms is mainly going to be Tuesday and overnight hours to our early Wednesday morning, but outside of that, folks, we're going to be dry throughout the next few stretch of days for us. Heading into the weekend especially, could see a little warmer as we'll be into the upper 70s and into the low 80s. But next week is when we're back to more summer-like feels. Until then, this is honestly feeling a lot like spring for us as we're holding into these temperatures. And you just got to flat out enjoy it, because this is not pretty typical for us. As around this time of year, we're usually into the lower 80s, but now we're getting some chances of being into the 70s once again. It's almost like late May. Got to enjoy it right now.
Get some fresh air in the house. Really good.
Yeah, you don't have to run the AC, Mark. I know we talk about that a lot.
It's August next week.
I know.
Dog days are coming up. We're not done yet.
That's fine. We can have a little delusion for this week.
Enjoy this. Enjoy this.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Julian.
As Russia's invasion stokes fears across Ukraine, a group of dancers in Odessa powers through preparations for a performance at a bomb shelter.
Their ballet begins with the battle cry, "Glory to Ukraine." Yvonne Watson meets performers who continue to dance as an act of defiance.
There is great beauty in Ukraine amid the pain and suffering. In the southern port city of Odessa, dancers in rehearsal try to tune out Russia's deadly war. This is more than just a beautiful expression of art and culture. Against the terrible backdrop of this war, these dancers offer a symbol of defiance, a sign that Ukrainians are not giving up. The Odessa Opera and Ballet Theater stands like a jewel, albeit one protected by sandbags. Though Russian rockets and missiles periodically pound Odessa, residents here cling to pre-war normality. And that includes the city's 135-year-old opera. Vyacheslav Chernukhovolich is the opera's director. It's beautiful. Do you still need opera and ballet when there is a terrible war?
Yes, all people need this, and it's very important for society. Opera house is the symbol of good life. It's you hear this.
The Good Life, tonight's ballet performance. But amid preparations, there's an interruption. An air raid siren warns of a possible attack. I'm ushered downstairs. This says shelter. Musicians and dancers wait in the basement. The threat delays the start of the show. Two of tonight's solo ballerinas try to stay limber.
No, this is not normal.
Why are you sitting here?
Because war, yes, in our country.
Are you afraid? Yes, of course we're afraid, says Katerina Kalchenka, though we're getting accustomed to these threats, and that in itself is horrible. After a long delay, the opera gets the all clear. Audience members emerge from their own shelter and take their seats.
In case of an air raid alert, all people must proceed to the shelter. Glory to Ukraine.
The music of Chopin fills the hall. And for the briefest of moments, the war seems very far away. The reality, though, is some of these performers sent their children away for safety to other countries. A number of the artists and crew are defending their country, serving in the Ukrainian armed forces, while those on stage struggle to keep the city's cultural spirit alive. Soloist Katerina Kalchenka crosses herself before entering stage right. But after just a few steps, the curtain suddenly closes. Bad news. The third air raid siren of the night has just gone off. The curtain just came down, and the show has been brought to a stop. Which людям по России. I want the whole world to start screaming, Kalchenka tells me, to stop this horror so that innocent people and children stop dying. I ask for help, the ballerina says, and for people not to remain silent. Ivan Watson, CNN, Odessa, Ukraine.
It's amazing that that's going on at the same time as the war.
It is. It is.
Well, coming on next year on Live at 4, your favorite ice cream flavors could be on the endangered list. We'll tell you how climate change could impact some popular ice cream ingredients.
And then coming up next hour at 5, mixing preaching and politics is something that can run a tax-exempt church afoul of federal law. Our Naomi Coles tells us about a Cross Plains priest who is in hot water with the diocese. That is coming up tonight at 5.
Am I
economic plan is moving this country in a better direction.
What planet is he living on? Record gas prices, 40-year high inflation, costing families $5 grand more for their necessities. Sorry, Joe, that's the wrong direction. Here on planet Earth, Senator Johnson voted against Biden's massive deficit spending that sparked inflation, and he passed tax cuts to help Wisconsin families survive the economic turmoil caused by Democrats.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living? And through no fault of their own, they're being left behind. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
If you have type 2 diabetes or high blood pressure, you're a target for chronic kidney disease. You can already have it and not know it. If you have chronic kidney disease, your kidney health could depend on what you do today. Farxiga is a pill that works in the kidneys to help slow the progression of chronic kidney disease. Farxiga can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, urinary tract or genital yeast infections in women and men, and low blood sugar. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may lead to death. A rare, life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Farxiga and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, an allergic reaction, or ketoacidosis. And don't take it if you are on dialysis. Take aim at chronic kidney disease by talking to your doctor and asking about Farxiga. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
Farxiga. Remember as a kid, if you could dream it, you could do it? Well, you still can. Now during the Ford Summer Supercharged Sales Event. And with great offers on select Ford vehicles, just move on. You'll not only bring back the fun, you'll supercharge it. So when the sun goes down, you'll just be getting started. Now place your order and lock in 2.9% APR for 60 months on select F-150 trucks, and you're protected, even if rates go up before your order comes in.
New at 5, News 3 Now follows up on what happens after you call 988. We speak with DHS and NAMI about the aftermath of calling the suicide prevention hotline.
Some good news for our work week forecast. Overall, quiet conditions and some pretty comfortable temperatures. We'll take a look at what's ahead.
Then at 6, pushing his flock towards his political stance. A local priest receives discipline from the diocese for using God to shape political opinions. That's tonight at 6.
Boy, look at the people at Santa Monica Pier.
Boy, do we have fond memories of that
Yes,
place,
we do.
Don't we?
Many times.
Yeah, wow. Look, yeah, it really is crowded
For a
today.
Monday? Well, I guess it's 71 degrees. Why not?
Look at Southern California. Beautiful.
Well, around the world, climate change has brought higher temperatures, extreme weather events, and melting ice caps.
Soon, climate change will show up in your freezer. Popular ice cream flavors are now endangered. The raw ingredients are getting harder to grow in a hotter world.
Elise Preston traveled to Vermont to get the full scoop.
It's chocolate chip cookie dough day inside the factory where Ben & Jerry's makes its ice cream. Bite-sized chunks of frozen cookie dough get added, followed by chocolate chips. But climate change is threatening this popular ice cream pint and many others.
All of these flavors in the cup are endangered.
They are, because they've all got cocoa, coffee, vanilla, nuts. All of these ingredients are actually now under threat.
Cheryl Pinto is known as the sorceress at Ben & Jerry's because she sources all the raw ingredients. She says sustainable chocolate is getting harder to find. 60% of the world's chocolate comes from West Africa, where poor farmers are facing the effects of deforestation.
80–90% of the trees are gone. When you start removing the forest, you actually impact the regional weather patterns.
Researchers forecast 90% of the area in the region currently used for cocoa cultivation won't be able to grow the crop by 2050. And the type of coffee being used in 70% of worldwide coffee production can't tolerate temperatures over 73 degrees.
Unfortunately, where we grow coffee, which is more towards the equator, those areas are getting affected the most by climate change.
Plant scientist Dr. Alan Van Dyne says farmers will need to adopt new species of endangered crops.
I'm an optimist. We're finding varieties that can take the heat a little better, and some crops are going to thrive more than others.
But Van Dynes and Pinto agree. New varieties will taste different and cost more to grow.
What we have to do, though, is be very aware of where our food is coming and how do we support those farmers.
She says in this warmer world, consumers should demand their cold treats are sourced well. Elise Preston, CBS News, Waterbury, Vermont.
And with water in such limited supply in California, Ben & Jerry's is now considering growing almonds in Idaho. This is getting serious. That's now getting to the ice cream.
Yeah, exactly right. Then we'll pay attention.
We'll pay attention.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new #1 movie at the box office.
When we come back, our film critic Will Loper has the numbers and the reviews. That's when Live at 4 continues.
And he got so upset. Oh my God. Look. No way. She has definitely got some work done. Doesn't even look the same anymore. Talk about an extreme makeover. I wonder how much money she spent on those upgrades.
Hey! The house looks great, right? 3 years, no interest on roofing and siding from Feldco.
Right now, get 3 years, no interest on Feldco Roofing and Siding.
3 years, no interest on Feldco Roofing and Siding and Sunday. Call now.
Call 866 for Feldco.
What's so great about being a Pick and Save Boost member? Free delivery on the Pick and Save products you love. And more rewards like double fuel points. Boost by Pick and Save Fresh Perks. A new level of membership starting as low as $59 a year. Learn more at pickandsave.com.
Allergy sufferers. Bedtime means it's time to take Zysol. Zysol relieves allergies while you sleep, so you wake refreshed. Plus, it works faster than Claritin, and on first dose, provides the same relief as Zyrtec in a pill nearly half the size. Be wise all. Take Zysol at night.
This is the house that angels built. Attic Angels Senior Living Community is built on a foundation of authentic, local care. A framework for living well. Windows to take in the beautiful future. And is crowned by the pride that one's home is one's castle. This is the house that angels built. Attic Angel Community. Independent homes and 4 levels of assisted living. Built with the help of angels.
Soak in the savings at the Century House. Right now, get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 you spend on any qualifying stressless seating. Don't miss the perfect opportunity to fill your home with the world's most comfortable seating for less. It's time for Stressless, proud to be endorsed by the American Chiropractic Association. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
At Machinery Row Bicycles, you'll find bicycle store quality electric e-bikes from Trek, Electra, Felt, Giant, and more. Trek offers the best-selling e-bike in America, Trek Verve Plus, under $2,500. At Machinery Row Bicycles, you'll find fat e-bikes, mountain e-bikes, road e-bikes, bike path e-bikes, and more. Free services included. The place to shop for your new e-bike is Machinery Row Bicycles, the most beautiful bicycle store in the world.
I want to share my story so others can know that they are not alone.
When my mom and dad were first expecting, the pregnancy had complications and there was very little chance of survival. My mom's health was at risk too. She chose to end the pregnancy.
It was my decision, not some politicians.
Every woman should have the right to make her own decision. And I'll fight alongside you every step of the way until you do. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
And a quick update on our traffic. As you can see on the northernmost part of your screen, along the Beltline, actually pretty smooth for our 4 p.m. commute as of right now, as we're inching closer to 5 p.m. commute. But we can also see closer towards the interstate. Things are all green as well as we're getting things rolling for us. So not too bad in terms of our traffic as of right now. That's going to do it for the update. Let's go ahead and toss it back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. Jordan Peele's newest movie, Nope, is a science fiction horror film following on the success of his 2 previous works, Get Out and Us.
Is the third one the charm? Resident movie critic Will Loper gives us the lowdown of the weekend box office and more in this week's edition of the Loper Report.
Hey, Mark and Susan. Jordan Peele once again hits a home run at the box office, with his latest film, Nope, making $44 million, his third #1 opening in a row, as well as the highest opening for a totally original film since Peele's last movie, Us.
sink into the floor.
Wait.
In 2017, Peele wrote and directed the horror thriller Get Out to critical and audience acclaim. In 2019, Us was released to less success, but still contained an incredible visual flair and one of the best performances of the year from Lupita Nyong'o.
Be careful.
And this past weekend, Jordan Peele brings us Nope.
Did you know that the very first assembly of photographs to create a motion picture was a 2-second clip of a black man on a horse? And that man is my great-great-grandfather.
Great.
There's another great-grandfather.
The film follows a brother and sister, played by Daniel Kaluuya and Keke Palmer, who are trying to run a Hollywood horse farm after their father dies in a freak accident.
What's a bad miracle? They got word for that.
The pair start to notice something flying in the sky and install cameras to try and catch this UFO.
What'd you see?
Something above the clouds. That's big.
How big?
Big.
The first half of Nope builds the tension, but it's the second half where all the threads come together that the film shines. There's the same visually stunning work Peele is becoming known for, as well as several stomach-churning and startling sequences.
I need y'all to tell me, what did you see in that cloud? It was not what you think. They took him. They took him all.
Although not fully the slam dunk that Get Out is, Nope is still absolutely worth seeing, and takes a little more digging to uncover just what's going on under the surface. Make sure you see Nope in theaters as well for the fantastic sound work and visuals that demand a gigantic screen.
5 stars, Angel, 5 stars.
Over on streaming services, newly streaming on Apple TV Plus is the 3rd season of Trying.
How things been with the children?
Oh, we adore them both. Princesses of 4-foot 7-inch ball of energy.
Rafe Spall and Esther Smith play adoptive parents trying to make their new family work.
Everything's gonna be okay.
I mean, how do we know that they even want to stay with us?
Because we have a good love. One that can survive life.
And new on Wednesday on Disney Plus is the series Light and Magic.
Visual effects create the magic that makes people want to go to the movies. Movies are special effects.
The show takes a look at the history of visual effects company Industrial Light and Magic.
When I was writing Star Wars, there were no special effects houses in the world. So how are we going to do the effects?
I realized that I was going to have to start a company.
So we didn't really know what we were doing.
For Live at 4, I'm Will Loper.
Well,
I want to see
really
that. Yeah, I want to see that.
Good choice.
And Will was on Facebook. He said it was at Nope, and the guy in his row was snoring.
Oh, no, that's not a good endorsement.
I think you got to pay attention.
Did you figure out what it's about, though?
No, I have no idea.
No, we still haven't either.
Nope. Nope. We'll be right back with the final check of your forecast.
It started somewhere between a cuddle and a struggle. It's the side hug. Tween milestones like this may start at age 9.
HPV vaccination, a type of cancer prevention against certain HPV-related cancers, can start then, too.
For most, HPV clears on its own. But for others, it can cause certain cancers later in life.
Welcome. Hi.
Now, as the dad cab, it's my cue to help protect them.
Embrace this phase. Help protect them in the next. Ask their doctor about HPV vaccination today.
As owner of Wisconsin's largest construction company, I have a blueprint, a plan for every project. So here's mine for Wisconsin. I'll stand up to the radical left and their socialist agenda. We'll back the blue and get tough on violent crime. Bad guys, they're not gonna like me. I'll crack down on election fraud and keep schools open 5 days a week, no matter what Fauci says. I'm Tim Michaels, and that's my plan. Now let's get to work.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salonpas patch reported reductions in pain severity, using less or a lot less oral pain medicines, and improved quality of life. That's why we recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
When we needed new doors and windows for our home, we were looking for someone we could trust.
We've done the bargain brand windows. We've done the runaround.
What we loved about Nextdoor and Window is that they were different. The experts guided us through every step of their no-pressure process.
We really loved their educational approach. Nextdoor and Window helped us understand what was right for us.
They have a totally different approach to doors and windows. They made the window and door replacement process simple.
Call 844-600-NEXT to get 50% off your installation.
Uncompromised, but with the potential to lose integrity, Dane County's election infrastructure is under serious criticism. We explore the problems identified in the administration. Then what happens after you call the suicide prevention hotline? That's coming up at 5.
In the heart of summer, young swimmers and divers compete in what has become the largest outdoor swim meet in the country.
I don't think we ever thought it was going to get to this big.
How Madison's All-City Swim Dive Meet has now been making a splash for 60 years.
Tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
A pleasant night is in store, but how long is it going to be great? Well, meteorologist Dana Fulton will tell you coming up at 5.